From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
A massive road collapse could have some major environmental impacts. Now on Daybreak, why Carmel officials are bracing for a potential sewage spill. And opening the door to disaster relief. Coming up, how the state is working to get people displaced in Indiana back on their feet.
News 8 Daybreak starts now.
Good morning, 4 a.m. here on this Tuesday, August 18th. We appreciate being with us here on Daybreak. It is a really nice morning to start.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a little humid, but man, the humidity's down, the temperature's down too, and you feel that. It makes a huge difference. Oh, and by the way, it's dry.
We love that. Very much so.
It's been a long time since we were able to say that. I think we're going to be pretty much dry all day too. So that's also a welcome change. I'll watch for a little bit of fog. It does not appear that it's a big issue right now. I've got perfect visibilities across the board right now. 10 is as good as it gets. There might be some patches here and there, but overall, I think we're in pretty good shape here for this morning. And I think we're going to be in pretty good shape for this morning as well. As we take a look down in Bloomington, 66 degrees here for this morning. Temperatures are kind of crisp here in some spots. Here's a live look at the pagoda at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 64 degrees. North wind at 5. Dew point number into the low 60s here for this morning. River flooding, we're getting better in the city. Action stage, which is river's almost fully within its banks in Indy, except for the north side, talking around 82nd Street, and then it's stretching up toward Noblesville. But we're in pretty good shape there. Around Anderson, we're still in minor flood stage. The crest of the White River has already bypassed into Morgan County and continues down toward Owen County. 75 at noon, 80 for your high later on today with sunshine, upper 70s and lower 80s later today. Mid 80s where we should be for a high later on this afternoon.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Leaders in Carmel are warning about the possibility of a major sewer pipe that carries 90% of Carmel's wastewater breaking into the White River. This is video of the massive bridge collapse on Hazel Dell Parkway in Carmel. City leaders say water is currently flowing toward the Martin Marietta Quarry. They say if it fills completely with floodwater, it could break the sewer line and cause raw sewage to flow back into the White River. Yesterday, there was a 90% chance of this happening. This morning, leaders say that's dropped to 70 to 75% chance of that happening.
As that flow has gone down this creek, it is now eroding the creek bed back toward the river, which is making that channel deeper and deeper. The problem with that is it may create a new low spot in the river where river water would then flood at a much greater velocity into the quarry.
It'll first flow into Martin Marietta Quarry, not into the White River, and that may be all the extent of it, which is a contained area where it could get cleaned out. So we're crossing our fingers and praying that that's the limits of it.
Local experts say the quarry is 75% full. City council members say it's now holding about 9 billion gallons of water, the equivalent of 16,000 Olympic-sized pools. Leaders say while the wastewater could be filtered and would not affect your drinking water, it could cause environmental impacts. Homeowners who have been affected by the flooding can now apply for state assistance through Indiana 211. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist explains how it can help.
Homeowners can now apply for those disaster relief fund grants through Indiana 211, but not every homeowner is able to get back into their home to document what happened.
This flood is like an elephant and all the other floods put together were a mouse.
Marin May still cannot enter her home to figure out what survived. The floodwaters in Ravenswood are beginning to recede, but many homes, including hers, still do not have power. Besides being uninhabitable, she says she can't adequately assess the damage.
Surreal. I feel like I'm living on a different planet. Everything that I am accustomed to doing in order to take care of my house, be a homeowner, and do what a household takes is gone.
Her backyard gives you an idea of the power of the flood. Only the water flowing in the background should be here.
Normally the river is a fourth the width that it is now at the most. The river is a very calm river. If I wanted to, I could walk across the river.
Ravenswood homeowners began to return on Monday. Most streets have reopened, but some places are still underwater. This is the intersection of Fitch and Haynes Avenues.
Even if you didn't get much rainfall, you're going to get the impact of that water heading down. So cresting and then receding is when you can get in there and actually look at the damage in detail.
Braun says homeowners can now apply for state disaster relief fund grants. Those provide up to $5,000 for basic needs such as food and clothing. You can apply through Indiana 211.
Be taking pictures, have videos, any documentation you can have about damage or receipts for work that you've already done. Those are the types of things that you'll need.
Braun says the state will submit a request for federal assistance within the next day or two. The governor says once that disaster declaration request is in, he says it will probably take about 7 to 10 days for the federal government to review it. At the State Emergency Operations Center, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Some people in Indianapolis who were forced out of the River Road apartments near Keystone because of flooding have returned home, but not everyone can stay. One man tells us they are allowed to gather some belongings, but cannot live there right now. Indy DPW sent out an urgent warning Saturday night asking people to evacuate due to erosion concerns. The road at the complex is washed out. Ben Johnston says he's glad they were able to get out.
We don't expect it to be on our doorstep. I'm just grateful that we got out when we did, because, you know, if we'd stayed any longer, this situation could have been a whole lot different.
Johnston says he is not sure when he'll be able to return to his apartment. He says he is now looking for somewhere else to live because of the flooding. In Morgan County, Madison Township firefighters are warning people to not drive through floodwaters after they had to evacuate 10 people from their homes Sunday night, then rescue another person yesterday morning. Our crews were on scene at Centenary Road and Centenary Lane when first responders had to help an Amazon driver who got stuck in the water.
Water can actually rush underneath the soil and actually wash away the road, which you wouldn't see unless you drive over it. Unfortunately, or the road gets washed away. And that's the other thing, is there could be a rip current underneath of the surface of the water and take your vehicle away, along with the deep water that could ultimately drown your vehicle, like is behind me.
Firefighters also say no matter what kind of vehicle you drive, you should not drive through floodwaters. If the road is closed, it's closed for a reason. Firefighters say that the water is still receding, so it's hard to know the extent of the damage. In Cambridge City, officials say their city building has been completely lost. They say flooding has damaged their computers, files, desks, phones, and equipment. This is video of the flooding in Cambridge City from the police department. Officials say this will affect their city operations, including the Office of Public Works and the police department. The city also says there will be no utility shutoffs and no penalties for late bills. The city says that even if they wanted to turn off the power, the tolls needed to do so are damaged from the flood. First responders say a Bargersville lieutenant was injured while returning from mutual aid water rescue. It happened yesterday morning at State Road 144 and Kitchen Road. Firefighters say they just got done with a water rescue, and as they were heading back, the crew saw a fallen tree. Firefighters say a branch extending into the road entered through the open window and hit a lieutenant in the chest. The firefighter was taken to an Indianapolis hospital and is stable. The Marion County Health Department wants to make sure you stay safe as you begin cleaning up after the floods. Experts say standing water and wet materials can be a breeding ground for viruses, bacteria, and mold. There's also the possibility of unseen dangers like downed power lines and debris from trees and homes. They say floodwaters can also impact water in a private well. To protect yourself, experts recommend wearing waterproof boots and gloves along with eye protection. If you come into contact with water, you should also wash your hands with clean water. Metro Police say they need your help to help keep roads clear as crews work to clean up after the weekend's flooding. IMPD says the flooding has created road access challenges for everyone, including first responders and cleanup crews. They say if your car is parked in a way that blocks the road, please move it as soon as possible. Police say they don't want to issue tickets or tow vehicles, but they may be forced to do so. Indy DPW is providing dumpsters for flooding debris. Take a look here at your screen now. 2 have been placed in Rocky Ripple, the others being placed in Ravenswood. DPW says the dumpsters will be available 24 hours a day, but they should only be used for flood debris. That includes branches and other tree debris that does not normally get picked up by regular trash service. DPW says it will empty the dumpsters regularly. Happening today, the Academy Sports in Carmel will be offering free 24 packs of water for people affected by the flooding. Organizers say people can look for the 18-wheeler parked in front of the store to get free cases. They say they have just over 1,500 cases to give away. Organizers say you can start picking them up at 9 a.m. while supplies last. Experts are warning you to watch out for flooded cars that could soon be for sale. Kara Kinney with Indiana's I-Team is finding out how you can spot the red flags before you buy a flooded vehicle.
One red flag is if you get into the car and it smells musty or moldy. Another red flag is if there's rust that does not match the age of the vehicle. You've seen the images, cars underwater. Vehicle history report company Carfax anticipates Indiana will see flooded vehicles for sale.
It may come back into the market many weeks, many months later. And it's not just Indiana, it can come back into other states.
Once an insurance company totals a vehicle, many are sent to auto recyclers to dismantle, but others are fixed up. Sellers can legally sell them on the market. If a vehicle is flood damaged, that should show up on a vehicle's title. However, some sellers may withhold that information or hide it through a process called title washing.
Now you see the images of those vehicles submerged in those high waters. Those are the type of cars that may get sold cheaply to those potential scammers who then clean it up and sell it elsewhere. And so while it may look showroom fresh, it is literally rotting from the inside out.
You typically see flooded vehicles hit the market after hurricanes. An estimated 500,000 flooded vehicles are already back in use on our roads, according to Carfax.
It could absolutely be sold right there in Indiana, could be sold down the street, could be sold to your neighbors, could be sold to you. These are the type of flooded cars that we see definitely hit the roads again in the days and weeks to follow a big storm like this.
The Indiana Attorney General says you should always take a used car to a mechanic before buying.
Any reputable car salesman is going to allow you to do that. Especially on the used car market. If they're not going to do that, just walk away.
Do your own VIN check. You can do that through the Indiana Secretary of State's office, Carfax, AutoCheck, and other services. It should reveal whether a vehicle has been in a flood.
We got to be careful here because a lot of vehicles are flooded out. There's a chance those could get back on the market legally.
Another red flag, if a price seems too low for the vehicle you're buying.
Flood damage is the worst damage. Because it gets into your electronics and everything else. So, yeah, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Another way to protect yourself is to take the car for a test drive before you buy. Make sure to check all the electronics, including the blinkers and the lights. I'm Kara Kinney with Indiana's I-Team.
Happening today, it's IMS Day and $2 Tuesday at the State Fair. From noon to 1 this afternoon, IndyCar driver Connor Daly will hand out free milk in special winner's drink milk bottles. Driver Christian Lundgaard will do the very same from 1 to 2 this afternoon. And our lifestyle crew is going to be out there live at 10 this morning for Lifestyle Live, so be sure to tune in. We've got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to be at the Dairy Bar today, so it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, milkshakes and grilled cheese, baby. According to multiple reports, the Colts are in the process of signing veteran wide receiver Keenan Allen. Reports say the one-year deal is worth up to $8.32 million. Allen brings 12 years of experience to the Colts. He played with the LA Chargers for his entire career, except for the one season in 2024 when he played for the Chicago Bears. The move reunites Allen with Colts head coach Shane Steichen. He was offensive coordinator for the Chargers while he was there. The two were previously together with the Chargers from 2014 to 2020. Braden Smith is officially an Indiana Pacer. The team announced that former Purdue guard signed a two-way contract with the team yesterday. A two-way contract allows a player to play for the NBA team and their G League affiliate. Smith was selected with the 38th overall pick in the second round of the NBA draft. The team was able to sign Smith to the contract after Ethan Thompson was released late last week. Smith is the NCAA's all-time assist leader and was Big Ten Player of the Year in the 24-25 season. The WNBA is speaking out after 3 fans were asked to cover their shirts at the Fever's game against the Dream on Sunday. 2 people wore shirts with a message that supported women's and girls' sports to be restricted to biological females. Another person wore a shirt that supported transgender people. It comes as fans have rallied at Fever games after Fever guard Sophie Cunningham said she was opposed to transgender girls and women playing in girls and women's sports. In a statement posted yesterday, the WNBA said the WNBA is aware of interactions at last night's game, Sunday, in Atlanta, in which fans were asked by league security to cover their shirts. This should not have happened. The Atlanta Dream also made a statement yesterday. The team said the Atlanta Dream believes in creating a safe and inclusive environment for everyone. Unfortunately, at last night's game, WNBA security took actions that fell short of that standard. At no point was Dream personnel involved in the decision made by WNBA security. So far, the Fever have not issued a statement. They tip off against the Toronto Tempo at 7 this evening in Toronto. LIV Golf announced they've canceled the Thomas Rhett and Disco Lines concert at LIV Golf Indianapolis due to unavoidable changes in the entertainment program. LIV Golf also announced they canceled its tournament in Michigan, making Indianapolis the last tournament of the season. The tournament will now crown the 2026 season individual champion, the 2026 LIV Golf team champion, and the winner of the weekend's tournament. LIV Golf Indianapolis is scheduled for Tuesday. It starts Thursday, and it will last through the weekend at the club at Chatham Hills in Westfield.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.